Okay, so to start your process of logging into your MAP program, the first thing you need to go is to the website. So that's www.myliberte.com/Sequoia_innovations. So now you're into the website. You will go to login, put in your information, so the username, and your password, and log in. Now the very first screen that you have is our license agreement, so you just read it, go to the bottom and click Agree Accept, and you have your MAP program. So this is the edit financial information. We're going to put in our income and wealth acceleration accounts. So you click on this I, and the first thing we're going to do is create a wealth acceleration account. That's our line of credit. So you click on this. We will then go to the name, and we'll just call it MAPLOC, M-A-P space L-O-C. That's our line of credit. We can keep the line of credit right there. We have, let's say that this family makes $9,000 a month net income. So where do we put that? We don't put it under the balance. We put it under the limit. So you can go to limit, LOC limit, and let's just put 9,000. You don't need to put the comma. The interest rate, there's none for this. And now we just hit save. Okay. Now we're going to add our income. Okay, so now that we have our line of credit all set up, we now get to put in our income. So we come over here and we just click under Add Income. Now we just simply go to the name, and at the name you could put dad's salary, mom's paycheck, or where you work. And so let's put the father's paycheck first. And let's say that the husband works at Kaiser. Okay, and let's say he makes $5,000 net income each month, but he gets paid every 2 weeks. So we're going to divide that into two. So instead of putting 5,000, we're going to put 2,500 because he gets paid twice a week. We come over to intervals, and we will click under every 2 weeks. Now, once again, you can see that we have different choices: twice a month, weekly, quarterly, but we're using the every 2 weeks. And for the start date, we basically just have to click on the date of the next paycheck. So let's say his next paycheck is coming in on the 10th. So we'll just click on the 10th. And we don't have an end date, so we just simply hit save. Now, if you don't have any other income to put down there, you can hit save and continue. But if you have a second paycheck, you're a two-paycheck family, you simply go to Add Income, the name, and let's say that the wife is a teacher for the LA Unified School District. So I'll just put LA Unified. Let's say that she makes $4,000 a month. And let's say that her interval is she gets paid once a month, not every 2 weeks. So we can here put monthly, and let's see, she gets paid on the 1st. The start date will be today, and there's no end date there. Let me just make sure that we have a start date. Yes, okay, so we're good with that. All right, so if there's no other paychecks to include, we hit save and continue. The next thing we have is now our consumer debts and household expenses. So we go to the I, and we have the choices now of the debt and expenses. The difference between a debt and expense is, for all your debts, those are things that have an interest and a time limit to pay it. So that would be something like a car. It has an interest rate in 5 years. Credit cards would be another one, and things like student loans or anything such. So let's add a couple things here. So let's put a credit card. So we'll just go to the name, and let's say it's Visa. The balance is, let's put 6,200. The interest rate is 24%. And the total payment, and now when we say the total payment, we're asking for the minimum that it's asking, just the interest alone. So we're not asking you to put what you would like to put extra, just the minimum finance charge. So that comes out to be $124. The monthly is the interval, and we're saying that this gets paid out on the 1st. So we'll keep it here, the 1st. And start date is today. Okay, so now that we've added the start date, next we have to put an end date on this. Now, unlike our other debts, like a car loan and a student loan, maybe even solar panels, those things have end dates. Like cars have 5 years, student loans have 15 years. But a credit card, that doesn't have an end date because you can theoretically just make your minimum payments and it can go on and on forever. But with a map, we want to put an end date there so that the map has something to work with. So as you notice, we have here today's date for the end date. And what I usually typically do for credit cards is I just add 3 years to pay it off. Now the map will usually pay it off in 1 to 2 years, but 3 years is just a good enough time for a map to work with. So you go to the end date, you just click on that 2017, and we just want to add 3 years to it, so we'll make it 2020. Okay, actually let's change this. Let's put this down on the 12th, the pay date. And then we hit save. All right, let's add another debt here. So where do you go? Back to add debt. The second one, let's put a car. So we're going to go to name. Let's put Honda. For the balance, let's say the car costs $32,000. The interest rate is, let's say, 4.5%. And our monthly payment is $575. The payment is, let's say, the 21st. And start date is, once again, it's today. Now, for an end date, let's say it's a 5-year loan. So we will put it 5 years from today. So let's put this as the 2022. And then we hit save. And so now we have all of our debts in here. Here's a suggested payoff for our debts. MAP will put a priority on which needs to be paid first, and all you have to do is to look in this area to see which is the most important. So this is saying that Visa should be the #1 priority to pay off because of the high interest rate, and Honda would be the second one. So we want to change this priority, and to simply do that, you go to the Edit button, go to Priority, and just click 2. Once again, because Honda is in the second position here. And then you hit Save, and we're good to go. All right, so now we're going to go to our expenses. And your expenses are just whatever the monthly expenses are. They could be your food, piano lessons, your gardener, things that you're just paying on a month-by-month basis. So let's see, we're going to add, let's say your AT&T, that's your cell phone. Okay, so we're going to put here cell phone. Okay, and then the amount is $225 a month. It's monthly, of course, and let's say it's due on the 3rd. Start date is today. We don't have an end date, and so you then hit save. Let's add one more expense. So you go back here, add expense, and let's see here. The second one, let's say it's your cable bill. Okay, and you're paying, let's say, $180 a month. Once again, it's monthly. Let's say that this one is due on the 21st. So we click that. Start date is, you just click here and click for today's date. There again, there's no end date, and we hit save. All right, so what we have now is we've put in our line of credit, we've put in our income, we've put in our debts, and we've put in our expenses. The last thing we have is, let's say we have a mortgage. So we're going to go here and add mortgage. All right, the name. Now in the name you could either put house, you could put your address, or you could put your lender. I'm going to put our lender, and we're going to say it's Chase Mortgage. Okay. The principal is how much do we owe? So let's say $450,000. Your balance is going to be exactly the same since we're starting today. Start date, it's already it already has today, so we're fine there. The term is 30 years. Now at any time, if you have any questions with any of these fields, you could simply just click on the arrow or just hover your cursor over the arrow and it will tell you what you're supposed to put in here. So when it says the term, it says the term of the mortgage in years. So let's say we just bought the house and it's 30 years. The interest rate, let's say it's 4.25%. And then the total payment for this loan is $3,100. Okay. Then we have to put the day of the month. So let's click here. Let's see here. Just click. And again, we're going to put the 20th. And we're good. Then we hit save. So here's our finished product of the map. We've added a couple of other things. So we have solar panels as a new debt. We put in all of our monthly expenses, as you can see. So once again, we have our dining out, entertainment. You could put that in there. Medical insurance, miscellaneous, if you want to have a line item for that. Savings, $250 a month is in there. Then when you have your mortgage and everything is in there, you simply go to the very bottom and you hit Start Reconciliation Process. At this point, the next thing you'll be seeing is your map dashboard, and it's going to be able to tell you when you're going to be debt-free and how much you're going to save. And it's also going to give you all of your monthly and daily transactions of how to get there.